My name is Louro. I'm going to talk to you about my website on the impact of cybersecurity. Before I get too in-depth with cybersecurity, I'm going to explain how I created my website and compare it to things like CSS and HTML. So to create my website, I actually used Google Sites, which is a free source to create a website, and it's actually very simple. Embedded tab, it allows you to use things from HTML and CSS like I do here. As you can see, I have like HTML tags like strong and putting in links to when you click on them you can go to the link. So you can combine the two to create your website. And here I'm going to show you, this is what my website would actually look like if it was just in HTML. And we have my home page to my website. So right here you can see we have my banner. My banner I created using Pixlr, and Pixlr is like, it's similar to Photoshop where you can use layers to create and edit images. And here I have about 3 layers. One is like the background, which is behind this and this, and the other 2 is this text box and this logo I created. And right here I have my animation, which is of me, just a picture that relates to cybersecurity, and my logo. And I created this using easygif.com. So this project is on cybersecurity, and it's based around the information in our systems, where it can be things like personal data or even financial data, and how to protect it. It's important to detect security breaches and how to prevent them in the first place, which I will explain to you more in depth as we go on. And the first section is A, and it's indicate the name of the innovation and provide a clear description of its intended purpose. So the purpose of cybersecurity is to keep you and your information safe. It also applies to things like businesses and companies, as they also want to keep their information safe. Society is based a lot around the internet today, and as computers store more and more important information, it is important to learn how to protect your information. Cybersecurity actually addresses problems created by those who use the internet for harmful deeds, like trying to steal information off the internet or trying to hack your computer, things like that. Down here we have the most common types of cybersecurity threats. Anyways, on to the next page. It is the effects and impacts. So B is explain a benefit or harmful effect of the information. Here I explain both. So with one benefit to cybersecurity is, without cybersecurity, people would not be able to keep important data on the internet, and it would not allow us to use the internet to its fullest potential. Cybersecurity allows us to have our world in a more organized fashion with storing it inside computers. One harmful effect, however, is that due to these increased securities, scammers and hackers and people create programs to steal information. They're becoming much more hard to detect and much harder to get rid of. This right here is a video I made. It just shows how cybersecurity is and how easily someone could fall for a scam, like from an email they received. He explained the impact that the innovation has had on society, economy, and or culture. Cybersecurity has had a major impact on society, as most of our lives today are based around the internet, with much of our personal information stored on it. Here you can see how the U.S. government spends $19 billion per year on cybersecurity. With such a huge budget like that, you can just see how much of an impact cybersecurity has on our daily lives, because so many people fall for things like that that the government needs to step in and do something about it. People really don't realize how big of an impact cybersecurity has on their life, and you can see that through this graph I made from my survey. So it's the average of impact of cybersecurity on your life on a scale from 1 to 5, and I had 3 different categories of people. People who have heard of it before, people who know a lot about it, and people who have never heard about it before. As you can see, the people who know a lot about it, they're on the upper side of things. They're saying how it's a 4 or a 5. While the people who have heard before, yeah, it's a 3 or 4. But the people who have never heard of it, they're only saying it's a 2, which is really not the case. Cybersecurity has such a huge impact on our lives, and to have D indicate one field other than computer science which this innovation has impacted or has the potential to impact. Describe the impact. Well, cybersecurity has a huge impact on business. Businesses keep things like finances and records online, allowing for a more compact space. So without cybersecurity, they wouldn't be able to do this because keeping their records and finances online would be very dangerous in all their personal information and information of customers. So even with advances in cybersecurity, cyber attacks will still target businesses. As you can see in this graph here, money lost caused by cybercrime. And as you can see, it's gone up since the 2000s. And right here is the survey I created. It's about the impact of cybersecurity. It's just a bunch of basic questions. Let me go over Google Forms. Google Forms is what allowed me to take the survey, and what is cool about it is that it lets you see individual responses. See right here, individual, so you can see how people answered. So just they create some graphs for you so you can easily see the information that was created from your survey and all the responses they created. So it's a good tool to just easily look through information. Technical aspects. E. Describe how a user interacts with the innovation. Cybersecurity is based around the user. The user can do things like set strong passwords or use two-step authentication or download an anti-malware program. People interact with it on the daily, as popular websites like Twitter or Facebook require you to type in your password. It's really impossible to avoid cybersecurity on the internet because most of the websites you go to require you to have an account with a password and things like that. And next is F. Describe in detail how the innovations technology incorporates at least one of the big ideas of abstraction, algorithms, programming, or the internet to accomplish its purpose. Well, first, cybersecurity uses the internet to accomplish its purpose. Users have to use the internet to acquire info on cybersecurity, such as looking up like helpful tips to stay safe on the internet, or even downloading things like anti-malware programs, which also makes it relate to the idea of programming, as individuals create these programs to help people keep people safe on the internet. So it sort of combines the internet and programming as the big ideas in order to keep people safe on the internet. Relationship to data. So G. Describe how the innovation consumes data as input, produces data as output, or transforms data. Well, so cybersecurity is actually a mix of consuming and producing data. People consume data by looking up online safety tips or downloading anti-malware programs. Basically anything that they're like looking up to keep themselves safe on the internet or downloading to keep them safe on the internet, they're actually consuming data. And cybersecurity also produces data as companies like Norton, Kaspersky, they produce programs and online safety tips for others to consume to keep themselves safe on the internet. And next we have H. Describe at least one data storage concern, data privacy concern, or data security concern related to the innovation. Well, one major data privacy concern is the safety of your personal information. People would like their information to be safe on the internet. However, this is not always the case, as there have been many issues of websites stealing your information and maybe selling it. These are all my references, and you can see most of my sources come from companies who specialize in cybersecurity like Norton and Kaspersky. Thank you for listening, and if you want to know more, please visit my website with the link on screen and in the description. Thank you.